Okay, so I'm not gonna lie to you, this does not make sense to me at all. So as some of you probably know, Rolimons has started valuing items that are projected. And in case you guys do not know, projected items are items that had their recent average price, or RAP, massively inflated by disproportionately high sales compared to their recent average price. As an example, if you buy an item with a recent average price of like 1,000 for 1 million Robux, that item's recent average price is going to absolutely skyrocket up to 100,000 Robux. Now you're probably asking right now, Pedro, why do people do this? That is a very good question. People do this when they own very large amounts of that same item, usually called a hoard, making the item appear to be worth a lot more in trades even though it just isn't. Because even though the recent average price is 100,000, it is still theoretically worth 1,000 Robux. And this practice actually has a name, and it is called projected flipping. Now I will explain the reason as to why I'm very mad about this in a minute, but first let me actually give you some context. So Rolimons has valued both the Evil Hatbot and also the Beach House Fedora, which are both the most recent items to become like major projected items. And this sparked some controversy because they had never done that before. They had absolutely never valued a projected item before, so you know, of course it is going to be controversial. And now, as I said, I personally believe that this change is completely unnecessary and actually does more damage rather than good. As you guys probably know, the last 4 to 5 months in trading have been very controversial. A lot of items started skyrocketing in value solely due to having an assigned value in Rolimons. And this is exactly what is happening to the Evil Hatbot in the Beach House Fedora. Well, I'm actually not sure about the Beach House Fedora, but it is certainly happening to the Evil Hatbot. Now before we keep on going, I feel like I have to do a little bit of explaining as to how projected items usually work after they become projected. Now let's say an item that was previously worth 20,000 Robux that's projected up to like, I don't know, 400,000 Robux. That item is obviously not worth 400,000 Robux, but projected flippers give the person who is releasing the copies, let's say like 80,000 Robux value per copy in order to get someone to give slightly more, hence the term flipping. Which now brings me to my next point, ladies and gentlemen. Adding an artificial value to a projected item is literally not going to do anything to stop people from giving set amount for that projected. And there are two very good reasons for that. The first reason is literally what I just said up there. Projected item flippers are going to give a little bit more than the item's original worth because they will try and get someone to take a little bit more. Even if just like 10, 20,000 more, they just want to make a quick buck by flipping this projected. The second reason is that, let's be completely honest here, I'm not trying to mock anybody or anything like that when I say this, but someone who cannot even bother to go to Rolimons and see that very big, gigantic, enormous yellow triangle sign right by the item side written projected all over it will most certainly not bother to see that the item has an assigned value of 25,000 when the recent average price of that item is a lot higher than that. For perspective, the Evil Hatbot has a recent average price of 400,000 and a value of 25,000. People are just not going to care about that. I'm sorry, bro. Now the projected tag was already there to warn users that something is up with that item. The very concept of a projected item is already very well materialized within the trading community. There is quite literally zero need for a temporary artificial value for a projected item, especially considering that valued items are skyrocketing in price for absolutely no reason other than just being valued in Rolimons.com. I absolutely hate to say this, and for the value changers who are watching this video, I hope you guys don't see this as a personal attack, but what I'm personally feeling is that the value changers are trying to control what those items go for, and also to force people to see them as worth that much even though that was literally never needed, especially considering the nature of projected items, the very volatile nature of projected items. That is something that the entirety of the trading community already knows of. There is zero need for an artificial value to be placed on those items. And like literally, bro, look at this desperate value changer note. This item is temporarily valued as a result of a massive projection. The current recent average price far exceeds exceeds what it's realistically worth. Be cautious when trading for this item. The hoarder is actively releasing their 235 copies. It will not raise. Do you see how extraordinarily desperate that message sounds, bro? Now, there's something very funny that actually came out of this, which is, according to the hoarder, this valuation actually helped him release more evil hatbots for even higher than what he was originally asking for. Kudos to the value changing team, bro. Now, I spoke to the hoarder on the matter and he did tell me some very interesting points regarding the matter. They are essentially trying to dictate a value they want evil hatbot to be traded at. It is not even a value just to show its original worth, because Isaiah keeps adding more stuff to it after people give amounts that he dislikes. Example, him adding the unstable tag and then updating the note and posting it everywhere in value changes and explanations to make sure it is seen. And also adding his own comments, making it clear it's not raising from 25,000 value, etc. Trying to force people to see it as worth set amount when that has never been how projecteds work. And an arbitrary value on it clearly won't be taken seriously, which is why it is going for overpays now. Most of the people giving these trades are not giving it because it is valued and they think it'll hype. It's just because that is what they would pay for a projected with that recent average price, and some random value on it does not change that. Now, what he's essentially saying here is that the value is not going to change absolutely anything, bro. People are still giving like 50,000, 60,000 per copy because it is a projected item, and projecteds have worked the same way for years and years and years and years. Why are we changing this system that used to work perfectly fine? Also, I would like to add to this that I genuinely feel like Isaiah is extremely unprofessional, and that's not a today thing. As far as I'm concerned, Isaiah is the only value changer who has been directly dealing with this evil hatbot situation, and he keeps on adding more and more things to the value changers note on the website in order to force his point that no one is willing to listen to. This has happened multiple times throughout the last 4 to 5 months. Value changers value an item and Isaiah has a breakdown because they are not abiding by specifically what he says. He is also actively mocking those who get the item, which in my personal point of view should not be happening considering the position that he is currently in. I know a lot of people are just going to say things along the lines of like, oh, it's just Roblox, bro, get over it. But the problem is that trading is no longer solely about trading items. A lot of people have substantial amounts of real life cash invested into limited items. So I genuinely feel like these matters should be treated slightly more seriously, and that obviously doesn't go to say that fun is not allowed or whatever. I'm not like the fun police, but I just really feel that value changers should understand the impact that their decisions have in the economy, want it or not. I honestly think that Max, the hoarder, says it the best in this message. Values are meant to give guidance and insight as to what an item goes for, not control what an item goes for. Absolutely, this is pretty much Rolimons trying to dictate and trying to control what this item goes for, when projecteds, once again, have never worked out that way. Just because the beach house fedora has a value of 25,000, it is not going to stop people from giving 100,000, 200,000, solely because the recent average price of that item is absurdly high. From what it appears, they are adding temporary values to projected items in order to make users less susceptible to being sharked. But Isaiah himself said that the projected tag by itself is already easy to understand, and that if you do not understand it, you have low IQ. So, you know, why are we switching up now, you know? Now, just to finish off, I know that this video is not going to change absolutely anything, because Rolimons staff, realistically, they know they have a monopoly over the economy. So, like, being completely honest, they have no incentive to actually listen to the community's feedback. I would absolutely love to see you guys, the value changers, stop messing with projected items, though. In my personal opinion, these are completely needless changes that literally only make the life of traders a lot harder. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was pretty much the video for today. Thank you so much for watching. I would absolutely love to know what you guys think about this whole situation down here in the comments. I would be very curious to hear your opinions. Thank you so much for every single member of the YouTube channel. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support. Y'all are genuinely amazing. Like the video, subscribe, join my Discord server because I am hosting a giveaway right now. Follow me on Twitter as well. And yeah, that was pretty much the video for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.